Welcome to the first edition of SafetyNet, the first of a new series of video newsletters designed to look at a wide range of safety issues, giving you up-to-date information on railway safety. Amongst the topics in Programme 1, we're going to look at TCOD, the device being trialled to implement the use of T2A. We'll also be looking at 3 automatic warning systems used in other parts of the world that are being investigated here in the UK. In a regular news update slot, we'll keep you informed of key items of safety news and events that may interest you. We begin by asking the big question. With so many changes in recent years, how can the railway industry continue to make sure safety is number one?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the June meeting of the Track Safety Review Group.
To ensure that safety remains the key objective, a railway industry group, the Track Safety Review Group, regularly meets. The group represents all players, including staff from train operators, Railtrack, the infrastructure owner, and infrastructure contract maintainers and renewers. The ongoing work of the group is to constantly improve safety performance and to maintain an input on safety issues from all staff. But first of all, let's see what latest figures actually reveal. Trackside fatalities have never been lower, with only 1 fatality in 1995-96.
If we look back at the mid-80s, which is within the working lifetime of most of the people still involved, there were on average 11, 12, 13 people a year killed working at the trackside. In the last 12 months, there's been 1. The previous year, there were 2. 2 years prior to that, there were 6. So it's a heavily falling trend. It's an impressive record. And it essentially comes out of the fact that there is a common theme right through the industry, all the people, grassroots, senior management, the lot, that we're going to make the trackside a lot safer.
Major injuries to the workforce also continue to go down. But from April 1996, new legislation called RIDOR 95 will include a wide base of fractures injuries which will need reporting as major injuries. This highlights more than ever the need to wear personal protective equipment at all times, for example approved footwear and gloves. One of the key concerns of the Track Safety Review Group is to ensure that good results don't lead to complacency and that the collective effort to improve safety continues.
It's vital we work together for one very simple reason. We are now a collection of companies. At any work site, there's probably representatives of the contractors there, maintaining or whatever. There's a representative of Railtrack with the signalman. There's representative of the train companies with the train, the ballast train, whatever it may be. We've lots of company boundaries. Now, unless we work together, unless we understand that we work in common ways and that everybody, no matter who their employer is, understands what's going on that work site, then we run risks. So it is vital.
For over a year, T2A has been featured in the rulebook. But in order to obtain T2A, a track circuit operating device, or TCOD, is required. Trials are now underway at 4 sites. On the London North Eastern at Peterborough, in an overhead line environment, on the Great Western Main Lines at Bristol and rural lines at Newport, with a 4th due to begin at Surbiton on South West 3rd Rail area. When the TCOD is attached to the rails, it creates an occupied circuit that mimics the presence of a train. Just as if a train were present, the nearest signal at the rear automatically turns to red.
I think a trial of TCOD is very important. A lot of work's been done by people in head offices. The rule book has been written around the concept of the TCOD. We've had safety evaluation carried out as a paper exercise and risk analysis. And I think now we really need to get down to the nitty-gritty and find out how it works in practice. Obviously the people who can best tell us whether it is a good idea, whether it works, perhaps even whether we need to amend the rules as they stand, are the people on the ground.
I was apprehensive at the start, but having used it 2 or 3 times it was quite good. Well, it's secured by the Allen key. I mean, the person in charge, he has the Allen key on him, so nobody else can take it off.
3210. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Taking a T2A using TCOD will be a more efficient option than using either a T2D or T2H. Work can be carried out either in smaller units or with more personnel actually employed on the task rather than looking out for trains.
Well, you've got more men on site. Instead of having men stuck out on signals, you're getting more productivity done. You've not got a hand signalman stood there all the time. And in some places, that can take half an hour to set up at least, if it's a long way round and all that, like, you know. So, yeah, we should be able to get on the track quicker. But still a few little worries about the detonator protection.
It's obviously safety is the first thing that we're interested in, and I think once it's been proven and everybody's confident in it, as time goes by that'll prove that it is going to be okay to use it, and I think we'll be happy with it. The only probably concern I've got with any T2 is the amount of paperwork and form filling that's involved in it, and if you're busy doing another job, that's distracting you from probably your main work.
To complement the trials, an extensive survey is being undertaken to collect the opinions of railway staff about the introduction of TCOD and green zone working. The trials will be completed by September-October, and if successful, TCOD will be introduced in November 1996. It will be accompanied by a comprehensive communications and training package. Watch out for more information in future editions of SafetyNet. To assist green zone working as the preferred method of protection for all personnel who are working on or near the line, Railtrack have drafted a procedure to maximise green zone working. Railtrack will document any locations where, due to the nature of the infrastructure, red zone working is prohibited. This information will be made available to infrastructure contractors. Railtrack will designate by location or parts of routes, times of day and days of the week when green zone working will be permitted. Zonal directors will make every effort to enable green zone working to be adopted during the times and locations published. Red zone working may only be considered by an infrastructure contractor where risk assessment demonstrates that it is reasonably practical. More information will soon be available.
Pro-numbered certificates of competence are now controlled and distributed from Railtrack Safety and Standards. This has been undertaken to reduce the risk of misuse and fraud. The new Track Safety Handbook, which was to have been issued in June, has been delayed until December. The delay is due to amendments and supplements to the Master Rulebook, which is also due in December. The design of the Personal Track Safety Certificate has been reviewed to increase security. At a recent meeting of the Track Safety Standards Subject Committee, the proposal to incorporate a photograph of the holder with a hologram was supported.
Automatic warning systems are increasingly used on railways around the world. The railway industry is currently investigating various systems to evaluate whether they might be of use on the UK network.
The trains run a lot quieter now than they did 20, 30 years ago, and they're harder to detect. So we now need to look at mechanical detection as opposed to manual detection.
The Individual Warning System, or IWS, is a radio-operated warning system developed in Germany. A prototype of the system has been sold to German, Dutch, Swiss and Italian railways. Train sensors are fixed to the line and connected to remote announcement transmitters positioned approximately 2 or 3 kilometres away at either side of the worksite. A central unit is installed at or near the work area to receive the radio signal from the remote announcement transmitter. The IWS can cope with a variety of track layouts which are set up at the central station. With IWS, each member of staff is fitted with an individual radio-operated warning device which signals approaching trains. Using train sensors, the announcement transmitter detects the approaching train and passes the announcement via the central unit to each person's individual radio warning device. The staff move to a position of safety and wait for an all-clear signal before moving back to the worksite. Staff can also receive the warning tones through headsets to enable the system to be used day and night, as well as in built-up areas. Another early warning system developed and used in Australia is known as the electronic flagman, or TECNIS. A TECNIS master station is positioned at the worksite. When it's activated, the light starts flashing and a high-pitched siren begins. The remote station, which first detects the train, can be positioned anywhere up to 6 kilometers away, depending on the time needed for safety. The remote station emits a Doppler radar beam, which is reflected back from moving objects. TECNIS is specially attuned to approaching trains. The signal from the remote station is then transmitted back to the master station via UHF radio waves to activate the alarm. As an extra safety feature, the TECNIS signal is coded so as to reject either false signals or any other interference. A third warning system, called Minimel, is an advanced warning system used in Holland and a number of other European countries, which provides staff with automatic protection. Minimel operates by means of a series of treadles fixed to the rail. These treadles are connected by wires to a central control box. When a train crosses the treadles, a signal is sent to the central control box, which activates rotating halogen lamps and a loud siren. When they see or hear the signal, staff on the track move to a position of safety.
The benefits are that you can work more safely. This thing can protect a bigger area. Normally you need to have enough space to be able to see, and now you don't because you have the lights. There are lights every few meters which allow us to work more freely. In addition to that, you don't need safety men because there is a signal and a sound that warns you.
The lights are also clearly visible to drivers from a considerable distance away.
Now what we see are the lights, the flashlights, all along the works. You can see the lights at broad daylight, when the sun shines, especially at night. So it's pretty, you can see them pretty well, from a long distance.
The loss of the safety man along the railway track, who's been replaced by automatic warning equipment, has been received in a positive way, but the workers had to get accustomed to the transition from man to technology. We've solved this by a good introduction and by good instruction to the employees.
To be honest, I like the system. The good thing about this system is that you don't have to be constantly watching. I wouldn't like to go back. I don't have to be on the lookout anymore.
We simply said, we want you to be able to work in safety. From that point of view, there has been a good discussion. There's been a constant contribution. The people appreciated that, but the doubts about the change from man to machine remain. That's always difficult, but the goodwill is there.
Future editions of Safety Net will keep you informed of these investigations. give us your comments or views on any of the issues we've raised in SafetyNet by contacting Andrew McNaughton on 0121 654 3660. We want to hear from you. Call us on the SafetyNet 0121 654 3660.